I'm John Bowden, and another piece of our conversation with Colin James. In this series, we're talking about a lot of hits. Just came back in this one. If you want to check out the entire interview with Colin, there's parts 1 and 2 as a podcast or a video, links in the description of this video. Here's Colin James.
Okay, number 5 hit, Just Came Back.
Rocker, and that one's a complicated story. So I didn't write the original. The original was written, I rewrote the song. It was brought to me. And my friend Daryl Burgess had written it, and the words weren't quite there for me. You know, when I first saw you, I heard I saw a blinding light, a woman child wrapped in dynamite. That was the original lyrics. So I had to change some lyrics. So when I first saw you, I heard the angels sing. I thought of Adam and Eve and the love and that love thing. So I had to change it, and I have to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of it. So when we were demoing it, we came up here and I did a demo of it. Before we sent it to Joe Hardy, I actually tried to kind of sabotage it. I thought it was kind of dumb. So I actually tried to ruin it. And we sent it to the producer and the record company. Everyone came back saying, "Do you think that's the song?" I went, "You've got to be freaking kidding me." So here's an example where I was dead wrong. So there's other ones when I was right. And I was wrong about stuff with Tom Dowd, by the way. Tom Dowd actually wanted me to listen to some songs by a great songwriter named Jerry Williams. And this is where I got it wrong with. If I listened to Tom, I probably would record Running on Faith before Eric Clapton. I probably would have recorded Pretending, No Alibis, because all those songs were on the tapes I was given and they hadn't been cut yet. And I said no, because at this point we weren't getting along and I didn't really want to hear any more ideas from him. And I got to tell you, like, I don't mean to disparage Tom Dowd because he was a genius and had a lot of years of amazing work. It's just an example of when it just wasn't going to work for us. But he was, I mean, his legacy is massive. Bobby Darin, the shark has pretty teeth there, you know, Mac the Knife, that was Tom Dowd, you know, John Coltrane, Ornette Coleman, you name it. I mean, the Giants, Eric Clapton, Allman Brothers, you know.
Yeah. When you dropped out of school at 16, like, were the parents going, "You're freaking crazy," or did they know you had something? How did that go?
When I dropped out of school, my mom and dad had split, and it was just time for me. I hadn't quite finished grade 10. I was playing in bands. I was up all the time because I was in a rock band at the time. We were opening up for the Subhumans and DOA and stuff like that. I wasn't really, I shouldn't have been in that scene, but I was, because like any other kid, I wanted to be part of the scene. So the writing was on the wall. At one point, the principal said, you know, "Would Colin come to the office?" And I went in there and he says, "Well, I don't know why you bother. You've got 3 classes a day and you're not going to pass with those classes." And I looked at him and I said, "You're right. What am I doing here?" Like, I realized at that moment that I'd been spinning my wheels for a while. And I know it's only grade 10, but I'd already been playing since I was 13 and in bands. And it was just time to go. So I moved to Winnipeg. I moved in with a family we knew and started playing on the street in Winnipeg and tried to go back to high school. And it was a bust because you had to do all your own studying. You had to do there was no one to tell you what to do. It's, "Here's your book. Have all your tests done by the end of the year." And that wasn't going to happen. And I got my first job at the Winnipeg Folk Festival. I got a workshop and a blues workshop with my band, the Hoodoo Man. And that led to me opening up for George Thorogood and John Lee Hooker when I was 16. That year I did Thorogood, 3 shows for Thorogood, 1 show with John Lee Hooker. And kind of never looked back. You know, I moved to Winnipeg, started meeting all the blues scene there, and just kept moving.
Well, there's somebody in that group or anybody that stood out for you that might have said something that really made a difference, because everyone has bad days, bad weeks. am I going to continue doing this? How can I do this? How can I make a living doing this? But was there words of encouragement? God knows I've had enough when I needed them. But for you, there was something that stands out?
Well, what stood out to me was I used to come back to Regina because I'd get broke. I'd move to Winnipeg. I'd come back. One day I was sitting at the we used to call it the club. It was kind of a members only hippie club where it's just everyone I knew would go there. And somebody I knew and respected who was a fiddle player, kind of a bit of a tough nut. And he came up to me and said, "Why are you still here in Regina? Why aren't you somewhere else by now?" And I just kind of went, "Oh my God, yeah, you're right. I'm just here because it's safe and it's easy. It's easier here." And that's what caused me to leave, and I did about a year and a half in Montreal. I was really broke and we had cockroaches and mice and had to play in the subways. Ended up in Vancouver, eventually, finally, and it just kind of kept moving. But
he gave you permission almost, it's weird.
Yeah. I realized I was never going to pass. And I was just wasting time. I was ready to be out. I was ready to start learning and getting out there. And if I spent 2 more years in high school, it would be just kind of wasted time. A lot happened in that time. I mean, some pivotal stuff happened in that time. So it was the best decision for me, but I can't wish that on other people. I mean, for parents of kids who are playing, people ask me quite often, what was the method? And I said, there's no method. I mean, you just have to want it and really have a blind faith that it's going to be something that'll work for you. And the rest of it is just being honest with yourself, if that's going to be true or not,
5 long years. I need a soundbite. I hate saying that near the end of the interview, but give me a soundbite. Give me something good.
Well, it's a real song, it's a real song about a real a series of events. And it was written about my first girlfriend. And when I was about 16 or 17.
Oh, the road trip in the Toyota.
Well, yeah, we went down south and we ended up in New Mexico. And so that's where listen to because there was like a mariachi band in one of the towns we were in. And we actually went swimming in the Rio Grande because in New Mexico, it flows right through. And we found these cool caves. And, it's a song about running into someone you knew later and, realizing that, a choice was made and that's the end of the day. That's where it went. And, in any other circumstance, it might have been different, but that's how life goes. Yeah. And it was just one of those things. And, I'm glad one of the, a song that did so well for me was actually a real thing and, written in a park. It's written in Commercial Avenue across from Joe's Cafe in that park.
I love Joe's Cafe.
Joe used to lend me $20. Joe would lend me $20. I used to live right behind Joe's. And he was there when that whole Stevie flew me down. Like he was there. I think I went in there and said, I think I owe him money. And I think I'll get you when I get back or whatever I said to Joe. And Joe was really nice, man. It's Santos Tapas. There was a Portuguese restaurant across the street named Santos Tapas. Santos used to lend me money. When I made some bit of money back, I went back and I paid him the $300 I owed him because he actually let me run a tab at his restaurant to $300 when I was like a young, broke Vancouver kid.
I hope you enjoyed that. Many more parts coming up to our Colin James interview. We actually talked to him twice in the last month. And there's links in the description of this video where you can check out the podcast and the entire interview on our sister channel, Rock History Book. And Colin has a brand new album out. Remember, links in the description as well where you can pick that up. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Canada.